we have challenge. So it's about Italian articles. If you like the topic or just like the challenge, so drop the like and let's continue watching the video. Ciao amici, benvenuti al Facile come Italiano. Hello guys, welcome to Easy as Italian, and well, today we want to talk about articles in Italian language. Well, that's not as easy as it can be in English. Well, in English you just finish it by saying de, or I don't know, in Arabic you just say it by al, putting al in the first. In Italian, it's more complicated than these things, but don't let it trick you. It's not that hard too. Okay? So, when there is the discussion about articles, Italians are like bodybuilders. Well, you know, many articles, many dependencies. Now, with some tips, we want to learn them. So get ready, and if you haven't watched the video about genders in my channel, then I really recommend to watch that video because they are related very, very, very much. Well, you really need it. You'll thank me later. So after watching the session about genders, we will learn articles. Now, if you want to learn the articles, take your notebook, and drop the pattern in that. Put some places, 3 places for masculines and 2 places for feminines. Then cut it in half so you would have more places for plurals. Now we will start with the feminines. For the feminines, I said 2 groups. Yup. So the first one are the words that start with a consonant. Like what? Like donna. Donna starts with a consonant and also ends with a, so it's a feminine word. We would put it in the first group and we would say whatever word would get into this group would get the article la. So la donna. La donna, the woman. Easy as drinking water. So the second group, we would say every word that would start with a vowel. Like what? Like amica. That means friend. Okay? Feminine friend. So, amica. It starts with a vowel, and ends with a, so it's feminine, so we put it in the second group, and we say every word that goes into this group would get the article L apostrophe. L plus apostrophe. So the word would be l'amica, the friend. Now let's go for the plurals of the feminines. For the consonants group, the first group, la would become le, and for the second group, ella apostrophe would become le again. Okay, so if you want to make donna plural or amica plural, well, you have learned or haven't. I don't know if you have watched the video of genders or not, because I have taught you in that how to make the words plural. So please watch that and then come here, because we are making them plural and I'm not gonna explain every time for that. So donna becomes donne, and then la becomes le. So la donna becomes le donne. Okay? L'amica would become le amiche. L'amica, le amiche. Easy. Finished? Let's go for the masculines. So for the masculines, I said 3 groups. Yeah, it may be a little more confusing, but not that much again, as I said. It's still not a hard topic. So the first group for the masculines, we say every word that would start with a vowel. Like what? Like amico, friend, a masculine friend, a male friend. So amico, it ends with O, so it's singular masculine and starts with a, so it's a vowel and it gets in the first group. We say every word that goes in the first group of the masculines would get the article L apostrophe, just like the one in the feminines. Okay, so amico would be l'amico. Very easy till here. Then the second group, we say every masculine word that would start with these letters or combinations. What are these letters and combinations? I would tell you. If the word starts with S plus a consonant word, a consonant letter after the S, okay, or starts with PS or PN or GN or X, Y or Zeta. Any of these things. If our word starts with any of these, this would be in the second group. And I would say every word that goes into this group would get the article lo. So let's go for an example. Dino starts with zeta and ends with o, so it's masculine singular. Then it goes in the second group. Dino with the article, it would be lo dino. The backpack. The meaning of the word would be backpack. So this word lo dino, the backpack. Okay, easy. Now let's go for the third group. The third group is every masculine word that starts with a consonant but is not in the second group. So whatever that wasn't in the first or the second group, you put it in the third group. And the article for that would be il, I-L, il. And an example for this group would be ragazzo. A very common word that means boy, so il ragazzo goes in the third group. Now we know about the singulars. Let's go for the plurals for the masculines. So the first group we said would be every word that would start with a vowel. And the article for that was L apostrophe. Now for the plurals, the article is yi. G-L-E. The pronunciation is yi. I had problems on pronouncing this myself. The way you can pronounce it very easily is that make your tongue very, very, very close to the top of your mouth and then push the air so the air would get stuck between your tongue and also the top of your mouth and then go out with pressure and makes the sound yi. That is the article for the masculine plurals of the first group. So if you made amico a plural, like amici, the article for that would be gli. Gli amici, the friends, masculine ones. Then for the second group, lo becomes gli again. Okay, so if you made zino, zini, the plural, it wouldn't be lo zini, it would be yi zini. Okay, it's actually pretty simple. You just have to write it down. When you write it down, you see that how simple it is. Then the third group, it was il ragazzo. Ragazzo would be ragazzi, and il would become I. Just I. No need to pressure. No need to press, sorry. So, il ragazzo would be I ragazzi. As simple as that. Now, I said the articles, it's finished. And just for a review, I would say there were two groups of feminines. One would be with la, that was the words that would start with consonant. Then there was L apostrophe for the words that would start with vowel. And for the plurals, both of them would become le, so it didn't matter that what group the word was. You would just make it plural and put le in the first. Then for the masculines, there were three groups. The first group was for the words that would start with a vowel, that would get L apostrophe, and for the plurals would get Y. Then for the second group, there was the words that would start with these special combinations and letters. S with a consonant, PS, PN, GN, X, Y, and Z. That would get lo, and for plural would get y. And then for the third group, there were the words that would start with a consonant and wouldn't be in the second group, and they would get il, and for plural they would get e. As simple as that. It's finished. Now let's go for the verb of the session. I said, and in the end of every session, I would teach you a verb. And today I want to tell you the most useful verb you can get anywhere you go. The verb in the present infinitive for that is essere. Essere, that means to be. And now the pronouns would be like io sono, tu sei, lui, lei è, noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. Okay? It's an irregular verb. That's why it's kind of not so easy to learn, and you have to memorize the pattern. So, well, unfortunately, the verb to be is one of the irregular verbs, but you can learn it. It's not that hard. Just give it some try. So, io sono, tu sei, lui, lei è, noi siamo, voi siete, loro sono. This was the session. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop a like and tell me in the comments if you liked the session, or if it was useful, or if you have any question. I would be glad to answer you. And well, see you in the next 2 days, and ciao.